What is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the politics and BS. I'm circling back on a story that I just recently talked about because this is just extremely annoying and frustrating. But to me, it sounds like an issue and a story of maybe buyer's remorse in a way. But I recently talked about this barbershop owner in Atlanta who claimed that he felt like he was duped by the Trump campaign and it's cost him business, clients, things have trimmed down a little bit, and he's, basically being refuted in that with some receipts. Now, I'm not a cheerleader for the Trump campaign. I'm not a cheerleader for any of these people who are in politics, quite frankly. But I'm able to call a thing if that is the case. And with this situation, it's looking like he was regretting his decision. It cost him more in the end. And maybe also not so much that he didn't know that it was going to be a Trump campaign stop, but maybe the way it was presented to him, he didn't think that it was going to be like a Trump rally sort of situation, but maybe something where they were going to be talking about what they were going to be doing for Black businesses. That's possible. I don't know. But I will say this. The Trump campaign, they're refuting the claims by the barbershop owner, rockyjones, who says he was unaware his shop would be used for a political event. According to the business owner, he was under the assumption his shop would be used for a small Black business roundtable. He said the conversation between him, other Black business owners in Atlanta, and Trump surrogates left him wondering when the discussion about small Black business would be taking place. The campaign says a contract was agreed on, and the business owner was paid for renting out his place of business. And on X, or sometimes people still call Twitter, an account affiliated with the ex-president posted images of the contract agreed upon by both parties. According to the contract images, both parties consented to a political event taking place at Rocky's Barbershop. The contract is also signed by a representative of Donald J. Trump for President 2024. Now, here's the thing. I will say, I feel that he may have felt like he shouldn't have done it. And so in order to try to flip the script and change the narrative around why was Donald Trump speaking on the phone, on a speakerphone to him and the other few people that were in there, why was Byron Donalds, who's shucking and jiving, hoping that he's going to be the VP nominee, as well as Ben Carson, who has worked in the Trump administration, why were these people there? So it's possible he could have said, you know what, this wasn't worth it. This wasn't worth my time, or the $4,800 that they're paying. So now I'm going to come out and say, I feel like I was duped. But it's also possible, and I'm not saying that this is okay, but it's also possible that he was speaking to someone over the phone. They said some things to him. He said, okay, yeah, I could get with that. And maybe it's possible that they presented it in a way where Donald Trump's surrogates were wanting to do a small Black business roundtable to discuss what his administration planned to do for small Black business owners. And he did not read the contract. We know this happens. Again, I'm not saying that it's okay, but it is one of those things that does happen where you're told one thing, but then in the contract it's something else. And if you look at the video clips, if you look at my last video and you see the link in the description where I put the video, his facial expression, he did look like, what is going on? And so he really did have an expression on his face where he just felt like this is not what I thought it was going to be. So while I will say that the Trump campaign has provided receipts and a contract, I don't really care that they provided that. What did they say to him? Because people can say all day long, well, it was in the contract, you should have read it. people get duped by contracts all the time, and not all contracts are they're not all upstanding. They're not all good. A lot of contracts are bad. And a lot of times they get people to sign by saying the things that will make it seem feasible, workable, doable, or, you know, it'll be fine. Just go ahead and sign here. And they feel the pressure of saying, well, let me get back to you. I'm going to have my attorney review this contract before I sign anything. A lot of times they'll just go ahead and sign it, and they don't read it. And even if they read it, they may not understand it. So while I will say that they provided receipts, I'm not going to completely dismiss his thoughts on what he thought it was going to be, because I really don't believe a lot of things that comes out of that campaign, because they're working for a man that all he does is lie. Like, seriously, he lies all the time. So why would I believe that these people told him, we're going to be having a Trump rally. We want to hold it at your barbershop. We're going to pay you $4,800 to rent your space out for a couple of hours. And Donald Trump is going to call. He's going to speak, and he's going to talk about himself, like he always does. Talk about how great he is, how great he was, and how great he's going to be again. And this is the best ever. And if you listen to the call, all Donald Trump was doing was talking about how great his mugshot did and how it was selling all these t-shirts, and it did better than this one and that one. And he's doing great with the blacks and the Hispanics because of his now convictions and all. It's just like ridiculous. So I am, again, not going to say that this barbershop owner didn't feel duped. Just because they provided receipts doesn't mean that he was not told it was going to be one thing and then it turned out to be something different. That happens all of the time. So with that being said, they can show the receipts, they can show the contract, they could even show however they paid him, whether it was via cashier's check, Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, Cash App. I'm saying, you know, they took the money out of an ATM machine and they show the receipt from the ATM machine. That doesn't matter to me. I am not going to say that he did not feel duped just because they provided receipts. Because when I look at his facial expressions, I do believe that he thought it was going to be something different than what it turned out to be. And let's just say he was told that it was going to be a stop on the Trump campaign and they just want to use his barbershop. Then what did that benefit him but the $4,800? And he thought that maybe they wanted to use his space because he was going to be speaking to the needs and the plights of black business owners in the Atlanta area, and they didn't get any of that. So listen, I just wanted to talk about that real quick. They provided receipts, they provided the contract, but I still just believe that he thought that it was going to be something different than what it was, and he possibly was told that it was going to be something that was going to be beneficial for small black business owners. Period. I saw the contract, I see the pages, I see his signature and his name printed, but I honestly don't believe that he read it. I don't. So some could say, well, that's his fault. He should have read the contract before he signed it. But I believe that what happens in a lot of these types of situations, I've been there. I will say that. I've been there. They explain everything to you, and then you sign it. Now, I've never been in a situation like this when it comes to, what he did, but I'm just basically saying you've got multiple pages, and they're telling you what, is up. You're agreeing to what you think is being said, but what is written is something completely different. And then not only something written is completely different, but also what transpired is not what was expected. So just wanted to give my thoughts on that briefly, and you can let me know yours in the comment section. Respectfully, guys, thanks so much for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.